You've heard of pocket sand, but have you heard of pocket dice tray? Hi guys, and welcome to the Healeyverse creations. Today, I'm talking D&D stuff. And by that, I mean, I'm making D&D stuff. And by that, I mean, I made a dice pouch, but it's also a rolling tray. And I'm gonna show you how I made it. Real quick, before we get too far into the video, make sure you stay till the end because there is a very special announcement event thingy that you just might want to hear about. So keep watching, it's important. So the first step was technically an optional one. We got this chamois leather and we wanted it dyed. And we'd played around with dyeing chamois leather before, which there's a whole thing about quality of chamois leather and other treatments and reliable places to get it that I'm not necessarily going to go into, but essentially the piece of chamois leather that we were dyeing specifically for this project, I rolled a 2 on dye skills, so it's a little greenish instead of the blue we were hoping for, but admittedly, I still think it looks kind of cool. So once the leather was somewhat successfully dyed by Matt, I then used a plate, just a dinner plate, to cut out a circle. You could, I suppose, if you wanted to, use a compass to make a nice big circle, but we just happened to have a dinner plate that was the size that I wanted to make the dice pouch / pocket rolling tray. Cutting out the chamois leather was an absolute breeze because my sewing shears cut through the chamois leather like a hot knife through butter. For the next step, I once again enlisted my husband's help with not only the math and technical skills needed to make even holes around the leather, but also with the punching and riveting. Not to say that I couldn't have done it myself if I really tried, I could have, but I was making dinner at the time and we really wanted to get this project done in time for the Sunday posting, so what can I say? I have the best husband. Now, if you wanted to do this project, you could pick pretty much any size circle to do it with. The bigger, honestly, the better as far as creating the actual dice tray itself. For the actual dimensions of the round, I don't know. It's dinner plate size. I don't know. Go get your dinner plate.
40.
But I do know that the holes were 60 millimeters, not centimeters. I know there's a difference. I know I'm American and I don't work in metric, but there is a difference between millimeters and centimeters. 60 millimeters between the holes to make it work out, so there was 12 holes. Now, we did consider doing more holes to potentially get more rigid structure or have it pull together better, but that's too many rivets. Eyelets, whatever they are. The metal things, they're eyelets, not rivets. Rivets are solid. I know things. I'm learning things, okay? Not everyone can be perfect. It's just my husband. Anyway, after the eyelets were all put in, all that was left was for me to lace it. Now, there was a strategy with lacing it. I know it seems like the most simple part of the process, but the entire concept of my design revolved around the lacing being knotted at the right point that when the pouch is opened up, it has walls. They don't have to be the most Helm's Deep kind of walls, but it just needs to stop dye, the other kind of dye. It just needs to stop dice from rolling out when you roll them, and you may be rolling multiple dice at once depending on your D&D game. But that was the purpose of this, the main bit. Sure, there are loads of different ways you can make a dice pouch, but to make something that works as a dice pouch, arguably, I rolled a 10 on that bit of the design. But as a dice tray, you've heard of pocket sand, but have you heard of pocket dice tray? So tying the knots was a bit particular and a bit fiddly, but I think I nailed it. Ta-da! And there it is. It's just a little portable dice tray. To the point you can take your handy dandy dice, which, there we go. And then when you go to roll them, they stay in there. And it's got that fabric texture to slow their rolling, because if you roll them on a table, please don't get lost. They can just keep going. Thankfully, my cable stopped them. Whereas having a little dice tray to roll them on, it's just like, you can't see it, but I obviously rolled a natural 20 and I wouldn't lie about that ever. So I win. The entire concept behind this came from my experience with playing D&D. I think that started about 8 years ago, something like that. Fortunately, one of the friends who I got into it and we pretty much consistently played at his house, his dad, we also got him into it and got him to DM, which then like reinstigated his love of the game to the point that he reached out to his college buddies and they started playing online together, even though they lived thousands of miles apart, which was just so wholesome. But he was so supportive of us meeting weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it was, to play D&D. He got 3D printers to print characters. This is how I got into miniature painting, which I very much enjoy. He got us dice trays that were these rectangles that could go flat but then snap together, and they had felt in the bottom, which is great, but they're not the most portable. You know, sure, if you've got a bag of stuff, absolutely. And some people need a backpack just for their dice. I'm not that person. But I'm familiar with all things D&D. I mean, we had a purple worm 3D printed for us to fight. We had dice jails, these little cages that if your dice were performing poorly, you put them in the dice jail so that they could sit and think about what they did. To make something that's just this, it's a simple design. It's super simple. We wanted a quick project to knock out, and yet it serves such a nice purpose. And I'm so pleased with how it came out. If your dice are in it, you can just, oh look, there they are. To the point that I made that one. I also made one for my husband, because he also wants to get into D&D. But then I also made a third one, which brings me to our big announcement, which is our first giveaway. Now, I know it's not big. I know it's not the most intricate project we've done, but for those D&D players or people who just want a handy dandy little pouch to keep things in, it's free to enter. All you need to do is go down in the comments and say what you would keep in the pouch. Legitimate answers only. And then from those who answer this question, we will then randomly select a winner. So the winner will be selected a week from today. This video is being posted on Sunday. It'll be the following Sunday when our next video should be out. And then it will be announced in the following video. From there, we'll let you know how to contact us so that we can get your shipping information and send you your portable pocket dice tray. I do potentially want to dabble maybe more into dice towers, especially since our 3D printer Bruce has just been sat for the past at least 6 months, not doing anything. So that is today's video. We made 3 super simple, super quick and easy dice bags / pocket dice trays. For the D&D player who never knows when their next adventure will spring upon them. Someone walks up to you on the street, right? And they're like, hey, roll for initiative. And you're like, oh, I'm ready. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, following along this super simple project. If you like the video, make sure you go down, hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications so you get notified when we post, you know, especially if you enter the giveaway. You want to know. And leave a comment for, again, did you try it? Did you want to? You're welcome to put more things in your comment than just what you would put in the pouch. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Who knows what that could be. Anyway, roll for initiative. For the D&D adventurers who don't know when they're going to be asked to roll for initiative. Pocket dice tray. Pocket dice tray.